There is tons of history in Springfield that I think a lot of people don't know much about. Of course, we all know about Abe Lincoln and him living in Springfield and practicing law. But what about the 1908 Springfield race riots? How much of that do you know? Other than maybe walking by a monument down there by Union Square, maybe reading a little bit off that plaque. Well, there was quite a finding whenever they were doing some of the construction on rail relocation, and they found some artifacts of burned down homes and really able to kind of peek into the lives of those who were victims of a racial attack more than 100 years ago in 1908. Well, to recognize that 1908 race riots, where a white angry mob led to the death of several black Americans, including the fires that destroyed homes and businesses. It was a horrible day that led to the creation of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and from there it's led to a recognition of more needs to be done for racial equality, and now we've got a monument that could be happening with a national designation. We've been talking about this for years, but to get the latest on this, we'll now talk with Teresa Haley. She's the Illinois State Conference president for the NAACP, and she joins us now to react to the latest. And Teresa, thanks for taking time. The latest out of Congress. The U.S. Senate Committee has advanced the Springfield 1908 Race Riot National Monument Act. This is a big deal.
This is a major deal. I feel like we're finally moving forward because we keep saying the time is now, but the time was yesterday, not tomorrow. The time is now for President Biden to either sign the Antiquities Act to move this agenda forward, or for Congress, the Senate and the House, to come together and say enough is enough and do the right thing and acknowledge and establish the 1908 Springfield Race Riot Monument.
So what would this look like? And I kind of set it up with the discoveries that were made, the archaeological discoveries that were made when they were starting to dig for the rail relocation. Would a monument be placed in this area? What would it look like? And why is this designation from Congress so important?
It will be placed in this area. In 2014, President Obama really wanted to see a high-speed rail come from St. Louis to Chicago and vice versa. And so in doing so, when they were doing the rail relocation, they discovered 5 additional houses that were burnt down during the 1908 race riots. Now, if you go to Washington, D.C. today and the Library of Congress or the African American History Museum, you'll see posters, you'll see banners talking about the 1908 race riots, but never having any tangible artifacts. This discovery allows us to have artifacts. And we all believe that this area where these houses were burnt down should be turned into a national monument and memorial. It should be preserved.
Teresa Haley joins us. She is the Illinois State Conference president for the NAACP, reacting to the U.S. Senate Committee advancing a measure, the Springfield 1908 Race Riot National Monument Act. Teresa, I talked a little bit about what led to that race riot, and hopefully you can kind of elaborate a bit more. What really was that about, and how damaging was that to race relations in the city of Springfield and elsewhere? Especially a city that, heralded being the last home of Abraham Lincoln before he went off to Washington, D.C. and had to handle the Civil War.
Well, in 1908, prior to the race riot, and it was a 2-day race riot, Springfield was a good place to migrate to. My family migrated from New Orleans to Springfield, and several others went on up north. However, those who migrated to Springfield because of the race riots left Springfield like leaving Sierra Leone, West Africa, never to return again. There were more Black people living in Springfield and doing very well in terms of business owners, homeowners in 1908 than what we see today. Springfield is the home of the 1908 race riot that led to the start of the NAACP. The story is familiar to all of us, and it's just like what we're seeing with police relationships and trying to correct and build that. A white woman simply lied. She said that she was raped, and she identified two innocent Black people. And these Black men were murdered. They were shot. They were hung in trees. So that theme called Strange Fruit means you have a human being hanging by a tree. And at that time, it was a Black person, a Black male, hanging in a tree to send a message to the rest of us, to terrorize us, to say, if you do anything, you will be shot and hung in a tree. How barbaric.
And, of course, being able to have not just a plaque somewhere, but a monument with recognition of artifacts, make sure that that is front and center for a lot of people to reflect upon and to also gauge how far we've come since that time in 1908 to 2023. Teresa Haley, the Illinois State Conference president of the NAACP, with us here on WMAY. And how have we done in the past century? Have things gotten better? What else needs to be tackled?
Well, things seem to have gotten better for a little bit, but after a major presidential election with 45, things kind of went back 30, 40 years. And I think America is trying to rebuild. This is America. And the story of the 1908 race riots is not just about Springfield. It's not just about the state of Illinois. It's about the United States of America and what happened when Black people were brought over against their will and they started thriving and providing for themselves. And all of a sudden that was taken away from them. We have gone back so much in terms of race relations. America was the melting pot. It's the place where anyone is supposed to come and live. And not only am I the state conference president, but I am so proud to be the president for the Springfield branch in NAACP, where this all started over 115 years ago.
Teresa, something we talked about with a State House Republican earlier this morning hinges off a recent WirePoints study. It's a consumer finance website. They talk about a whole bunch of different things and look at different economic indicators and consumer debt and all that. But they did place Illinois as the last placed state when it comes to racial equality, looking at Black Americans and the ratio of those in executive positions and jobs, or those sharing, the percentage of homelessness and a variety of other factors, unemployment rates and so on. Illinois is at the bottom of that list, according to Wallet Hub. The Republicans saying that Democratic policies are not working to provide that opportunity to everybody. Your reaction to that?
Well, one is I don't care about politics. I care about people. And the study is pretty much true. Living in the struggle and watching other people go through the struggle, you do see it every single day. We get calls on a regular basis, people losing their jobs, can't find a job. People are homeless and they're trying to correct their situation and have a better life. Again, America was that melting pot, and we're not seeing it. People leaving Illinois because of high taxes, people leaving Illinois because they can't find a job, or the rich get richer and the poor stay poor is what we see here in Illinois.
I think one of the most staggering things somebody shared with me was the property tax rates of Harvey, Illinois versus Winnetka, Illinois, and the racial disparity there. Of course, Winnetka is predominantly white, Harvey's predominantly Black, and I don't know if you know the tax rates, but the property tax rates in Winnetka, 8%. The property tax rates in Harvey, 26.1%.
That is overwhelming. That is truly amazing. And yes, I do know Harvey. I have family and friends who live there. And it is. Illinois is a dying state. It's a dying community. And so we need to find ways to lower our taxes. We need to find ways so everyone can experience life abundantly. And we don't have that here in Illinois.
Teresa Haley, the Illinois State Conference president of the NAACP. Greatly appreciate you taking the time, and I guess just reiterate the importance of getting the 1908 Race Riots National Monument Act through the Senate, through the House, and signed by President Joe Biden.
Absolutely. It's going to take that bipartisan support. We have it on the Senate side. We're looking for it on the House side. Again, it's not about politics. It's about people. It's about all of us being able to tell this story of what happened in Springfield, Illinois, August 14th and 15th of 1908.
Greatly appreciate your time, and we'll definitely talk again soon, all right?
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and